Ashland police have identified a person of interest in the violent, unsolved murder of Ashland man David Grubbs in 2011. It's a story you'll only see right here on NBC5 News tonight. Good evening, and thanks for choosing NBC5 News at 6. I'm Craig Smollett.
And I'm Christine Pitawanich. Tonight, new information coming out about the horrific murder that rocked the Rogue Valley. 23-year-old David Grubbs was murdered on the bike path in Ashland back in November of 2011. He was nearly decapitated. Now, more than 3 years later, despite an exhaustive investigation, police still have no suspects in the case. But tonight, in an exclusive report you'll only see on NBC5 News, we've learned new information about a person of interest we haven't heard of until now. Police looking into a man who recently pleaded guilty to killing and dismembering his roommate in Washington County. Christian De Laurentiis, a man familiar to Ashland detectives, still working to find David Grubbs' killer.
Christian De Laurentiis is a man that used to live in Ashland. Some time ago, he moved to Washington County, Oregon, and he was since charged with and convicted of murdering his roommate in Aloha in Washington County.
A Washington County prosecutor says it's been agreed to that De Laurentiis will be sentenced to life in prison for the crime he committed in May of 2012. But before that, in November of 2011, detectives believe De Laurentiis was in the area when 23-year-old David Grubbs was nearly decapitated on this Ashland bike path.
There's been several people that we've had a good hard look at.
One of them, Christian De Laurentiis, who, until now, has not been publicly named as a person of interest in the Grubbs case.
He clearly is capable of very violent behavior.
But soon after Grubbs' murder, De Laurentiis was charged with murdering his roommate in Washington County, and he was appointed a lawyer.
It certainly does make it a little bit more complicated.
But now that he's been convicted,
at the very least, we don't have to go through a lawyer anymore.
Investigators continuing to look into De Laurentiis as a person of interest, but O'Mara is careful to note he's not a suspect as of yet.
Obviously, we haven't arrested him. He hasn't been charged with it. And it could be that Christian De Laurentiis has nothing to do with the Grubbs case.
But that's still to be determined. O'Mara now hoping someone who knows something will come forward with information now that De Laurentiis is locked up. Deputy Chief Ty O'Mara says David Grubbs' murder will only be solved through community involvement. It's possible to give anonymous tips. So grab a pen. You can do it through the Ashland Police Department's tip line, that number there on your screen, 541-552-2333.